welcome. How are you, sir?
President of Sri Lanka Rugby.
Thank you very much. Thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Nice,
Very good.
nice tie that you are wearing. Is this a rugby sign?
Rugby time. I'm giving you a nice tie today.
Okay.
It's for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you very much for inviting and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so
It
much.
gives us pleasure.
This is my Vice President, sir. He's a former Navy Admiral. He's a retired person.
Hello,
He's a
Admiral. How are you?
commissioner.
Good to see you.
And this is my Executive Director, sir.
Hello.
Yeah,
How are you?
Hamza, nice to meet you.
Hamza.
Yeah,
Hamza is my son's name as well.
Mashallah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's only one floor, but we can go up.
Okay.
Gentlemen, for coming. Before I start my speeches and my thank yous, I'd like to unveil our partnership with the Pakistan High Commission, which is a backdrop which we have done.
Very nice.
This was specially designed and done from the Pakistan High Commission. The first Secretary Aisha and Mr. Hamza, the Executive Director, they put a lot of effort into this. Okay, good afternoon. Let me first welcome His Excellency Major General Umar Farooq Bukri, High Commissioner of Pakistan, Mr. Tanveer Ahmad, Deputy High Commissioner of Pakistan in Sri Lanka, Ms. Aisha Abu Bakr Fahad, Secretary Madam, staff of the Pakistan Embassy in Sri Lanka. I just met the Consul General. I met the defense of the Pakistan Embassy, and all our Council of Sri Lanka Rugby Football Union, and also all my dear friends of the media. On behalf of the Sri Lanka Rugby Union, I welcome you all to the press briefing of the Sri Lanka Rugby Provincial Development Tournament, sponsored for the first time. For the first time in the history of 148 years, we reached out to a few embassies to have sports funding, and we were very positively taken up by the Pakistan Embassy first. So this is like a landmark achievement for us in rugby. For us to have all these days, we had sponsorship from private donors, plus we had from a lot of companies and World Rugby and Asia Rugby. But this is a big stepping stone in our life where Sri Lanka Rugby is concerned, for us to be attached with the embassy, especially Pakistan. Pakistan has not been Pakistan country alone, and the people alone have not been close to us only because of rugby. I mean, if I just go quickly on the past, during our days of the war times, they were very close to our country. Without any unconditional support was given to us at that time. Even where food shortages were concerned, I remember being in the business area and going back into lots of things in sports, in cricket. During the time, some of the countries sabotage coming to Sri Lanka because of the crisis in Sri Lanka during the war time. I think Pakistan came here, they took part in tournaments, and also we were lucky to go to Pakistan and play in a World Cup in 1996 and win there. The hospitality has been amazing. My personal experience going to Pakistan is amazing, and we are so happy. And I am lucky to be the president of Sri Lanka Rugby this year, to have this landmark agreement signed today between the embassy of Pakistan and ourselves. And also, I had a chat yesterday. I didn't know how to start this thing, because when I go for a meeting on sponsorship, we talk about a company or talk about a rugby totally all together. but I spoke to a historian. He's like a walking, living encyclopedia of Sri Lanka. He's a leading lawyer, Neil Vijayaratne, and he reminded me of some of the 70 years of partnership that we have had in rugby with the Pakistan rugby thing. So he said we first commenced our rugby partnership in 1952. 1952, Ceylon Rugby Football Union hosted the prestigious All India Rugby Tournament in Colombo, where Karachi Rugby Football Union lost to Ceylon Barbarians. So that was the first one. Then in 1954, the first sevens tournament, All Ceylon team lost to Karachi team in Calcutta. So we had to go and visit there. So there's a lot of history that has come forward, which I didn't know. Truly, I didn't know. When we look at our rugby, or looking at the Far East Asia, we are playing against Malaysia, Singapore, but we are not in the region of playing in the league with Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, because we are one tier up. So, and also I would like to humbly thank His Excellency Major General Umar Farooq Bukri, the High Commissioner of Pakistan in Sri Lanka, for coming forward to support the game of Sri Lanka rugby development for sustainable responsibility, like I told you before. We have 7 provincial unions which are actively working. So we start actively working is we get into rugby, that is from the younger side, from under 12 to we go to under 12 under 20. So we have a way of Asia Rugby. Pakistan High Commission gave us some balls last year. What we do is we distribute the balls free for the children. And what do they take? I mean, the message we give from rugby is we try with the family. It brings the community together. When they take the ball home to the parents, they take the brothers, sisters, they look at it. When they come for the games, you see in outstation, once you all come for the games, you will see how the parents are engaged. So it's a connection that we make through rugby, through this sport. We make a lot of connection. And I am glad that the Pakistan High Commission has come forward. Once you all see 1 or 2 tournaments, you all know how we are connected with rugby. So it is the fastest growing sport in the country today, next to cricket, and we are very happy that we are with you. Then yeah, so again you just watched Sri Lanka today. We are having a crisis. We have no gas, we have a lot of things. I don't want this to be mentioned by the press because this is not, but I'm just saying we are having a lot of crisis. But you see the 2020 matches and the one-day matches have been sold out. So that shows Sri Lanka, they have, even without food or traveling or water drinking, they are hungry for the sports. It's a connectivity, it's again sports connectivity, and rugby for Pakistan Embassy to come during this time and give us the sponsorship, a very handsome sponsorship, is we are connecting with the people in the provincial unions. Like we are looking at the affluent clubs now playing in Colombo. They have their own sponsors. They are doing this. We have little money from World Rugby and Asian Rugby, but we are still connecting with the people. But once I put this proposal over to the 4 provincial unions, they are going to be overjoyed. They have their programs, but we don't have the finance to move. When we do something, we need to spend the money with them, and we have given that breakdown. So this is also connecting with the people. So further to this, I saw when I was in Malaysia last week, I saw the embassy has put a library, a book launch where people, they also get connected. There are a lot of people in Colombo who reads, and I mean that was a good thing that I saw in the press. So I mean that's about it all what I have to talk about. We are talking about the cricket, and I was happy to see Pakistan won their first major tournament this year in the League 2 against Thailand. Thailand was a side 20 years back. I was Sri Lanka rugby manager, and we had a difficult time to beat them. They had some super players, but in time with this COVID, all teams have deteriorated in their training. So they do something called virtual training. They don't play practical tournaments as such. 15s or 7 very limited tournaments are played this year, we can see. But for us to see another South Asian country grow up, Pakistan to win and come, is a great motivation for us to see. And we need to, my next agenda will be to have a triangular tournament with Pakistan, India, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, maybe a 4-nation tournament, which I don't know whether at that time our council will play our best side or our secondary side, because we don't want it to have an unbalance. We need some tournaments in Sri Lanka, so we hope that the Pakistan Embassy and other people come and help us also. And okay, What else can I say? I think without reading, I had to said everything. Right? I once again take this opportunity to thank His Excellency for coming here, giving us Madam Aisha for working tirelessly, and all of you all who are here, Excellencies who are here from the embassy. I will now, I think I have spoken enough. I don't want to take any more of my breath on rugby and bore you all. I'll hand over the microphone to His Excellency for his words on Sri Lanka rugby.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Rizli Elias, President Sri Lankan Rugby Association, and Vice President Hamza Hidayatullah, Executive Director.
Exactly, sir.
It gives me immense pleasure to be here today.
Okay.
Not because that I am a sportsman by myself, but because helping out, reaching out to the people of Sri Lanka has always been the top priority that we have had, and that will continue, inshallah, in the future as well. So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to be here amongst all of you and talk about this venture that we are starting. As you already said, Pakistan and Sri Lanka are both sports-loving countries. They support each other. If they are not playing against each other, then they are supporting each other. There's only once that when they are playing against each other, then it becomes obviously a matter of do or die for the country. But once you are playing with any other country in any sport, you are given an impression that the two countries merge together. I give you an example. Day before yesterday, I was out of town and I was having dinner somewhere. So the match was on between Sri Lanka and Australia, and Sri Lanka was at that time in dire straits. So while I was having dinner in that restaurant, I told the waiters and all those chefs who were there that you are going to win. So I left after having dinner, and it was a tight match, as you must have seen yourself, and finally the Sri Lankans won. So the next day when I went for the breakfast, they were all praises for me. They said that you said, and that is why it has happened. Otherwise it might not have happened, because it was a very tight match. But it gives me immense pleasure always to see Sri Lanka winning. I think that sports can play a vital role in bringing the people together. Now why I say this is that Mr. Elias, that we have very good relationships between government to government. We have very nice and prospering relations between our defense forces and your defense forces and our defense forces. We have very good relationships between different spheres of Sri Lanka with our people. But what I think is lacking is the people-to-people contact. That is lacking because of so many factors. It could be a financial factor, it could be coming all the way from one's country to another country and spending out some time. But I think that if people-to-people contact is improved, I'm very happy to see that it's already doing a great improvement. But if it could improve a little more through these little steps that we take, then I think that it will take us to new horizon, new spheres, and we can actually then be very proud of the people-to-people contact, and we'll continue to do whatever is in our capabilities to improve this people-to-people contact. And today's function is one of those. We want to actually improve the people-to-people contact, and this is being done for that. As you know that Pakistan is renowned for the sports equipment, not only playing sports but also for the sports equipment. We also incidentally beaten West Indies last night and won the series 3-0. West Indies is actually visiting Pakistan these days, and the one-day series has been won by Pakistan 3-0. So, but what I am trying to say is that it's not only the sports itself, it's the gear, it's the production of the sports equipment which is also very synonymous to Pakistan. And you know that Pakistan has been producing top quality sports equipment, especially football, which have been used in the World Cups. In Qatar also, 2022, the Pakistan
They have endorsed them.
football is going to be used. So we actually try to keep that thing in mind as well, and keep introducing those stuffs
Yes.
to different countries, including Sri Lanka. We have always been at the forefront as far as the sports diplomacy is concerned. The first function that I actually conducted after my joining here was probably giving out some bats and some balls to some underprivileged schools in Beruvela.
Okay.
So this has always been there, and will continue this in times to come as well. Kits to underprivileged schools in collaboration with Ministry of Youth and Sports and Youth Parliament, as I said. We also gave out certain equipment related to rugby and football. This year, Madam Aisha actually brought this up, and she said that we need to actually start sponsoring some tournaments, may it be cricket, football, rugby, and she then started working on this collaboration with you for the Rugby Association, and we continue. We will find out. I thought that
Sorry, sir. For the press.
my speech is almost over. You are just placing it just for.
TV presence.
You got late?
Camera presence.
It doesn't matter. But my speech is always almost over. So what I was saying was that we started on this venture of actually sponsoring rugby in Sri Lanka, and I am happy that 3 of the provinces will be able to benefit from the amount that we are donating today, and it will always be a matter of pride for us that we have donated something at the time when the crisis is on. As you already said, people have less to eat, less to travel around, so we don't want the vibrant sports of Sri Lanka to go down with the crisis that we are facing today, and we continue to do that. We will continue to.
He doesn't understand issue security.
No, but it's okay. Security guy is supposed to do this. He's supposed to actually.
I'm going to be late. So anyway,
That guy was little late. You are absolutely late.
It should be 11:30. Coming 10:30.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
They
So we'll
still
continue, and I'm sure that this will actually bring a better name to the friendship that we have with Sri Lanka in particular, and with the Rugby Association in general. We are also sponsoring women's rugby tournament and inter-university tournaments, and as you rightly said and pointed out, that this is the time that the people, the country should come forward and help out various aspects related to the daily life in Sri Lanka because of the financial crunch that you are going through. Pakistan government is doing its bit. It will continue doing its bit in whatever way, in whatever small or big way that we can. Taking the opportunity of being in the media today, I would like to say that we are also putting in some money for the drinkable water in various parts of the country, especially in the north and the east. We are also putting in some efforts as far as the scholarships are concerned, so that your students can go abroad in Pakistan and earn degrees from the top universities which are world renowned. We are also putting in some efforts bringing computers, IT equipment to various underprivileged schools I was in Matele the other day and giving out certain equipment related to IT and some sewing machines for the women folk so that they can keep earning their livelihood. And especially this year I thought, because of the input from my officers, that the ration bags for the poor people is one thing which can actually create a lot of goodwill. So we have what we have started is that we have started out giving out ration bags.
Provisions.
We are rations, and we are actually doing it in irrespective of the religion, irrespective of the caste, creed, religion. Wherever we find that we could go and wherever we can hand over those, so we continue doing that, and we are in the process of doing that. Once again, sir, thank you very much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen who are here, despite your busy schedule, we are very grateful to you that you have all been here for this ceremony, and we look forward to a long association, sir, in times to come. Thank you very much once again. Long live Pakistan-Sri Lanka relationship.
Before I say that, I just want to finish with a small note. I mean, coming here for rugby, the impact that has given me today, the amount of work the embassy does, especially today he was talking about the water, the dry rations, sewing machines. What greatness that I have in me, the feeling that I have is rugby has also brought this together. You know, we can do rugby. We have a big women's participation in all the provincial unions. There are a lot of unemployment with the women. When Excellency was telling me, I am getting goosebumps in my this thing. These are day-to-day issues that I have, and we could in each provincial union we can set up sort of a center where these people could congregate and do some employment and do some exports or whatever it is. This is tremendous. Other than rugby, what I heard now is, I think this Almighty's work for us, putting us together. I will just take your time a little bit, sir, to talk in my language.
Sure.
සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක් සියලු දෙනාටම මේ අපේ තරාමිතුමා පැහැදිලි කරලා දුන්නා පාකිස්තානයේ සහ ලංකාව අතර තියෙන සම්බන්ධය ක්‍රීඩා සහ සියලුම අනිකුත් ආධාර උපකාර අපිට ලබා දෙන හැටි මේ කතා කරන මාත් 1991 දී පාකිස්තාන හමුදාවේ පුහුණුව ලද කෙනෙක්. I also trained in Pakistan in 1991 in Kharsa. So I know how the relationship between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So එතකොට අපි තානාපතිතුමා අපිට රග්බි සංගමයට මේ වගේ කැපවීමකින් අපිට මේ ප්‍රාදේශීය වශයෙන් ක්‍රීඩාව දියුණු කරන්න සහ ඒ ප්‍රාදේශීය හඳුනාගත් ටැලන්ට් වලට අවශ්‍ය උපකාර කරන්න අද මේ මහගෝ අවස්ථාවක් අපිට මේ වගේ ඇග්‍රීමන්ට් එකක් අපේ ප්‍රෙසිඩන්ට් සෑහෙන උත්සාහ ගන්නවා. මේ කාලේ මුදල් දන්නවා සියලුම ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. මේ කොරෝනා ප්‍රශ්නේ තිබිලා අපි කොහොම හරි ටූර්නමන්ට් එක කරගෙන ආව මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපිට ස්පොන්සර්ස් මේ නැතුව ඒ අපි ප්‍රසන්නගේ උත්සාහය මත අපි මේක අපි අනග්‍ය අවස්ථාවක් කරගන්න අපේ ප්‍රාදේශීය මට්ටමට ක්‍රීඩාව අරන් ගිහිල්ලා දියුණු කරන්න. එච්චරයි මේ කොට කියන්නේ.
The provincials we have chosen for this to have this competition through the embassy. Our executive director will inform.
අපේ පළාත් පාලන රග්බි සංගම් තියෙනවා 7ක්. දැනට අපි ප්‍රසිඩන්ට් කිව්වා වගේ we have 7 provincial unions which are actively participating in rugby, promoting the game. So recently we formed our Eastern Rugby Union. You can see the logo right at the back, which we will form them at our next AGM officially to our constitution. And then North, yes, we have plans to form officially Northern Rugby Union, but we have done programs in Northern Province also.
They are asking when we will use the fund.
අපි දැන් මේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන sponsorship එක අපි use කරන්නේ වයඹ පළාත, that is North Western, රුහුණු, that is Southern Province, and Western Province එකේ අපි tournaments දෙකක් කරනවා. එකක් universities වලට, ඒක ගැහැණු ළමයිගේ women's tournament එකක්, අනිත් එක open tournament එකක් කරනවා වස්නාහිර පළාතේ. මොකද මේ rugby දැන් අපි ගහපු league එක තියෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම top division clubs. ඕනතරම් තව clubs තියෙනවා B C division වල ඒගොල්ලන්ට tournament එක නැති. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ අර අලුතින් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන clubs උයි men's and women's ගැහැණු සහ පිරිමි ඒ clubs එකතු කරලා අපි ඒ tournament එක ගහන්න බලමු. මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ට tournament එකක් නැහැ ලංකාවේ ගහන්න. ඉතින් ඔය ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා පොඩි clubs ඒගොල්ලන්ට අරුම ගානේ ground එකක්වත් නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒක විතර sponsorship එක.
Is there any questions? I would like to take now for quick question answer, because we would like to sign the agreement and change over the agreement, and after that we get all of you are invited for refreshment. Any questions you have?
How much this sponsor?
This we don't want to mention because generally what we do in rugby all the time we don't mention it because it is kept in close to our heart. It is a very big sponsorship for us, but we just like to keep it silent. Thank you.
Question for the High Commission of Pakistan. What made you think on rugby? Pakistan is not as famous rugby as it is with cricket. What is it that you expect from Sri Lanka?
Very good question. My security guy, Inspector Jay, also asked me en route the same question. Why rugby, sir? Why not cricket? Why not football? With other sports which are being played in Pakistan. The answer is very simple. I see people playing rugby in Sri Lanka, and I see passion in the young boys and girls who are playing rugby when I go for the walk in Independence Square. There's a passion for the people, for the young lot to play rugby and to come up at the world level. So we thought, why not actually invest somewhere where it can really matter. Cricket is already a good sport being sponsored by a lot of other organizations in Sri Lanka and from abroad. But we thought that something which has a passion should be given more chance to explore and should actually get onto the world horizon. That's why.
How many schools or clubs do you have in Pakistan?
Very few, but it has coming up very well. It has been now introduced in the armed forces as part of the sports, and through younger level at the school is being now taught, and I think it will come up very well in next 6 to 7 years. One of the better sports to play.
Question for the President of Sri Lanka. Why Pakistan?
Well, we reached out to them and they gave, and why not? And personally, I am very much closely connected to Pakistan. I am so happy this way because I have a family. My daughter is married to a Pakistani, so I have more connection with them. Don't write that, but it gives my heart a lot of pressure. Otherwise, they might say, "Excellency favored me."
No, I had not known him.
Okay, we just go through the signing of the agreement for the.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope this
Look here.
new dimensions in the sport.
As we came in, Excellency said, I have a beautiful tie.
Can you give those, please?
International tie. You ID play national tie, I cannot wear it free.
I see.
Yeah, so but you have a heart.
I can play green now.
You can play for Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much.
Can you get those, please?
Irrespective of how many pictures you take, the amount will not go down. The amount has been signed in the contract. Thank you. Thank you very much.
අද ඇත්තනම මේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට එම්බසියක් අපිට මේ මූල්‍ය අනුග්‍රහය දක්වන්න එකතු වුණා. ඒක පාකිස්තාන එම්බසියේ තානාපතිතුමා සත්භාවයෙන් ඇවිල්ලා අපේ ප්‍රොවින්සස් තුනක රග්බි ක්‍රීඩාව දියුණු කරන්න ටූර්නමන්ට් කරන්න අපිට මූල්‍ය වශයෙන් උදව් උපකාර කරන්න ඇග්‍රීමන්ට් එකක් අපි අසල් කරාද. මේක අපි යොදවන රුහුණු පළාතට නෝර්ත් වෙස්ටර්න් වයම් පළාතට සහ බස්නාහිර පළාතට බස්නාහිර පළාතේ කාන්තා කණ්ඩායම් දියුණු කිරීමටත් මේ මුදල් යොදන්න අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. රග්බි ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ අපි ආසියානු මට්ටමේ ටියර් 1 එක තමයි අපි සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ උසස් ගානේ සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ. ඒ වගේම මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපි විශාල ජයග්‍රහණයක් ලබා ගත්තා. පිරිමි කණ්ඩායම කොමන්වෙල්ත් පොදු රාජ්‍ය මණ්ඩල ක්‍රීඩාවට දෙපාරක් සහභාගී වෙලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් කාන්තා කණ්ඩායම ප්‍රථම වතාවට මේ පාර අපි සහභාගී වෙන්න වරම් ලැබුණා. අපි ක්වොලිෆයි වුණා. කාන්තා කණ්ඩායම සහභාගී වෙන දැන් මේක දවස් දිනවල කාන්තා කණ්ඩායම සහ පිරිමි කණ්ඩායම නේවාසික පුහුණුව ලබනවා. මේ පොදු රාජ්‍ය මණ්ඩල ක්‍රීඩා වල ඉලක්ක කරගෙන සහ ඊළඟට ආසියානු ක්‍රීඩා වල ඉලක්ක කරගෙන අපි කටයුතු කරන මේ දවස්වල. පාකිස්තානයේ මූලිකම වශයෙන් ආදාළ ලැබෙන්නේ ඒක අපි යොදවනවා මේ ප්‍රදේශ තුන සංවර්ධනය කරන්න වටිනාකම ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න අපි සාමාන්‍ය රග්බි සංගමේ මතයක් තියලා අපි ලැබෙන මේක කරන හැබැයි ඒවා හරි විදිහට නිසියාකාරව පරිපාලනය කරලා මේ யொதவணும்.
அந்த ரக்பியில் நடந்த முக்கியமான ஒரு பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் ஒன்று நாம் சொல்லலாம். இன்றைக்கி நமக்கு பாகிஸ்தான் எம்பசியால் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப் ஒன்று கிடைச்சது. ப்ரொவின்ஷியல் யூனியன் ரக்பி டெவலப்மெண்ட். ப்ரொவின்ஷியல் யூனியன் ரக்பி டெவலப்மெண்ட் சொன்னால் ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் இப்போ எங்களுக்கு இருக்குது 7 ப்ரொவின்ஷியல் யூனியன். அந்த 7 ப்ரொவின்ஷியல் யூனியன் கூட நாங்கள் ஈஸ்டர்ன் ப்ரொவின்ஸ் இப்போ ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். இந்த அடுத்த ஏஜிஎம்மில் அவங்களையும் நாங்கள் மெம்பராக நாங்கள் சேர்த்துக்கிடுவோம். இப்போக்கி அவங்கள நாங்கள் சேர்த்துப்படாத அந்த ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப்புக்கு இது இன்றைக்கி ஒரு பெரிய இன்றைக்கி வந்து நான் நினைக்கிறேன் இன்றைக்கி 148 வருஷம் நாங்கள் ஸ்ரீலங்கா ரக்பி நடத்திக்கின்னு வந்திருக்கிறோம். இதுதான் முதலாவது தேதி ஒரு எம்பசி மூலமாக எங்களுக்கு ஒரு டோர்னமெண்ட் வந்து ஸ்பான்சர் பண்ண கிடைத்தது. அதுவும் வந்து டெவலப்மெண்ட். இது சரியான முக்கியமான டெவலப்மெண்ட் டோர்னமெண்ட்டு சொன்னால் நாங்கள் குடும்பத்தில் இருக்கிறவங்க நாங்கள் பார்க்குறது மேல் தட்டில் அப்படியே கிளப் 8 இருக்குது. இவங்க கிளப் 8 தான் ரகம் செய்கிறது. ஸ்கூல் இருக்குது, பெரிய ஸ்கூல். மேத்தான் நாங்கள் இந்த டோர்னமெண்ட் வந்து இப்போ எங்கள் சிங்களத்தில் சொல்கிறா கமைக்கு அது என்ன நாங்கள் தமிழில் சொல்கிறது கிராமத்து மட்டத்துக்கு நாங்கள் இது செஞ்சுக்கணும் வந்துருக்குறோம். பட் எங்களுக்கு இப்போ இருக்கிற சூழ்நிலை இந்த எங்கள் ஊரில் இருக்கிற சூழ்நிலையில் எங்களுக்கு காசு பத்தாது. இது நாங்கள் போனால் டோர்னமெண்ட் ஒன்று செய்யணும், அதுக்கு உள்ள செலவுகள் இருக்குது. பட் இந்த செலவுகள்லாம் நமக்கு இல்லாத நேரத்தில் அப்போ மக்களும் சரியான அவங்க யோசனையிலையும் இந்த பிரச்சனையால் கீழே இருக்கிற நேரத்தில் எங்களுக்கு இப்படி வந்து ஒரு சக்தி ஒன்று தந்தது பாகிஸ்தான் எம்பசி வந்து ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு காரணம் எங்களுக்கு. அப்போ இந்த சக்தியோடு நான் நினைக்கிறேன் முன்னால் எங்களுக்கு மற்ற எம்பசிகளுக்கு நாங்கள் சொல்லியிருக்கிறோம் இந்த மாதிரி எங்களுக்கு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஃபண்ட் ஒன்று தர சொல்லி. எனக்கு இப்போ இதில் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஓப்பனிங் ஒன்று கிடச்சிருக்குது. நாங்கள் மற்ற இடத்து இந்த காசு உள்ள டிரான்ஸ்பேரர் மூலியமாக அது என்ன ஒரு ₹1 ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணாலும் எது என்னதுக்கு நாங்கள் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணோம்னு நாங்கள் எம்பசிக்கு நாங்கள் அதுக்கு அறிவித்து எங்களோட கவுன்சிலுக்கு அறிவிச்சு இது முன்னுக்கு நாங்கள் போகிறதுக்கு நாங்கள் இதில் நாங்கள் பிளான் பண்ணி இன்றைக்கி ஒரு எக்ரிமெண்ட் எழுதி இப்போ எம்பாசிடர் ஹை கமிஷனர் போகக்கூட எனக்கு கீழே சொன்னவர் இந்த டூர்னமெண்ட் மட்டும் இல்லை மிஸ்டர் இலியாஸ், நாங்கள் வந்து ஸ்ரீலங்காவோட எங்களுக்கு இருக்கிற கனெக்ஷனோட நாங்கள் உங்களுக்கு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் குட்ஸ் ஸ்பான்சர் பண்ணுறோம், கம்ப்யூட்டர் ஸ்பான்சர் பண்ணுறோம், தையல் மெஷின்கள். திருப்பி உங்களோட ரக்பி பிளேயர்ஸ் இருந்தால் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து பாகிஸ்தானில் யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் படிக்கக்கூடிய தகுதி இந்த மாதிரி எங்களுக்கு கன விஷயங்கள் இருக்குது எங்களுக்கு. நான் சொன்னேன் சார் இப்படி ஈஸ்டர்ன் ப்ராவின்ஸில் எங்களுக்கு சரியான எங்களுக்கு முஸ்லீமும் தமிழ் மக்களும் இருக்கிறாங்க. அப்போ அவர் சொன்னார் யார் அப்படி முஸ்லீம் தமிழ்னு நாங்கள் பார்க்கல, என்ன சமுதாயத்தில் யார் இருந்தாலும் எங்களுக்கு உதவி பண்ண முடியுமானதை நாங்கள் அது உங்களோட ஸ்போர்ட் மூலமாக செய்கிறதுன்னு எனக்கு ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு சக்தி ஒன்று தந்துட்டு போனவர் இதில். தேங்க்யூ. இது வந்து இப்போ நாங்கள் இது சைன் பண்ணி முடிஞ்சு எங்களுக்கு இப்போ நாங்கள் எங்களுக்கு ஏஜிஎம்மும் இருக்குது இந்த ஜூலை ஆகஸ்ட்டில். இங்கே மட்டும் நாங்கள் ஆகஸ்ட்டுக்குள்ளே எங்களுக்கு ஒரு டோர்னமெண்ட் வெஸ்டர்ன் ப்ராமிஸ்லேயோ நாங்கள் வந்து ருஹுனு ப்ராமிஸ்லையோ வயம்பா ப்ராமிஸ்லையோ நாங்கள் அந்த டோர்னமெண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண போக உங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் நாங்கள் அறிவித்து அனுப்புகிறோம். கட்டாயம் நீங்கள் அந்த வந்து அந்த டோர்னமெண்ட் இல்லை ஃப்ரீ. இது வந்து நாங்கள் டெவலப்மெண்ட் செய்கிறது ஃபுல் ஃப்ரீயாக எல்லாம் ஃப்ரீயாக. இப்போ எங்களுக்கு அந்த அந்த ப்ரொவின்ஷியல் யூனியனில் கிரவுண்ட் இருக்குது. அந்த ஸ்கூல் வெளில நாங்கள் அந்த கிரவுண்ட் ஹையர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு காசு கொடுத்து அங்கே நீங்கள் இந்த டோர்னமெண்ட் செய்கிற ஆக்களுக்கு காசு கொடுத்து இவளுக்கு தான் எங்களுக்கு காசு தேவையாக இருக்குது. இல்லை இப்போ இப்போ கிழக்கு ஈஸ்டர்ன் ப்ராமிஸில் நான் கோவிடுக்கு முன்னால் போயிட்டு ஜிஐஆரில் செஞ்சது. அதில் வந்து நாங்கள் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லி எங்களோட நோக்கம் வந்து கோச்சஸ் நாங்கள் டெவலப் பண்ணோம். அப்போ அங்கே வந்து ஒரு கேர்ளில் பேர் தெரியும், அவள் ஸ்ரீலங்கா விளையாடின ஒரு கிரிக்கெட் பிளேயர். அவங்க வந்து அதில் சம்மந்தப்பட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் கோவிடுக்கு போகிற திருப்பி எனக்கு போகலாமல் போனது. இப்போ திருப்பி எங்களுக்கு இந்த ஃபண்டிங் எல்லாம் கிடச்ச சீருக்கு நாங்கள் திருப்பி ஈஸ்டர்ன் ப்ராமிஸுக்கு போகிறோம். நாங்கள் எங்களுக்கு வந்து எம்பசி மூலமாகவும் வேறு ஏஷியா ரக்பி மூலமாகவும் வேர்ல்டு ரக்பி மூலமாகவும் இந்த 2 ப்ராவின்ஸ் ஈஸ்டர்ன் ப்ராவின்ஸும் நார்தர்ன் ப்ராவின்ஸுக்கு சரியான அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குது. நாங்கள் அங்கே போயிட்டு இந்த ரக்பியை டெவலப் பண்ணணும்ன்ட்டு. ஏன்னா அந்த மக்கள் வந்து யுத்தத்துலேருந்து 27 வருஷம் அவங்க டெவலப் பண்ணல. அவங்களுக்கு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் ஆலை இது ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் சொல்கிறது வந்து இன்றைக்கி ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் மட்டும் இல்லை வேர்ல்டில் மக்களை கனெக்ட் பண்ணுறது. அப்போ மக்களை கனெக்ட் பண்ணுறேன்னா வீட்டில் இருக்கிற அம்மா அப்பா அண்ணன் தங்கச்சி அந்த நாங்கள் அந்த ஃப்ரீ ரகபால்னு சொல்கிறது எல்லாம் பிள்ளைகளுக்கு ஒரு போல் அந்த போலை அவங்க வந்து வீட்டுக்கு எடுத்துகிட்டு போனால் அவங்க பார்ப்பாங்க இது என்னன்ட்டு. அப்போ இது வந்து ஒரு முந்தைய மாதிரி ரக்பி வந்து டிசிப்ளின் இல்லாத. இப்போ இன்றைக்கி நாங்கள் வந்து ரக்பியை வந்து ஒரு யங் பாய்க்கு இல்லை கேர்ளுக்கு நாங்கள் படித்து கொடுத்தா எப்படி அதை டிசிப்ளின் பண்ணுறது, என்ன கேமில் இருக்கிற ரெகுலேஷன், எப்படி அது விளையாடணும், வீட்டுக்கு போனால் என்ன மாதிரி கதைக்கணும். இப்போ இன்னைக்கு நேஷனல் பிளேயர் வேணாலும் ஒரு ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் ஒரு எம்பாசிடராக தான் நாங்கள் பார்க்குறோம். போகலை அவர் சாப்பிட்டாலும் அவருக்கு கதைச்சாலும் அவங்க சரி வெளியே போனாலும் ஒரு எம்பாசிடராக தான் அவங்க போகணும். இப்போ அந்த குவாலிட்டிக்கு தான் நாங்கள் ரக்பி டெவலப் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். கீழே இருக்கிற மட்டத்துலேருந்து பிளேயர்ஸ் மாற இன்றைக்கி எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் மினிஸ்ட்ரியால் ஒரு சர்க்கியூல் அனுப்பியிருந்தாங்க ஒரு 2 months முன்னால். நாட்டில் இருக்கிற பிரச்சனையால் இவங்களுக்கு காசு தரையலான்னு சொல்லி அப்படி இருந்தாலும் எங்களுக்கு நேஷ்னல் ஒலிம்பிக் கமிட்டியால் எங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் கிடைச்சது, வேர்ல்டு ரக்பியால் எங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் கிடைச்சது. அப்போ நாங்கள் இன்னும் 2-3 ஸ்பான்சர்ஸோடு கழிச்சு நிற்கிறோம். அப்போ எங்களுக்கு வந்து எங்களுக்கு மேஜர் டோர்னமெண்ட்ஸுக்கு எங்களுக்கு ஸ்பான்சர் இருக்குது. நாங்கள் இதுவளுக்கு தான் எங்களை இந்த ப்ரொவின்ஷியல் லெவலுக்கு இருக்க டோர்னமெண்ட்ஸுக்கு தான் நாங்கள் ஸ்பான்சர் இல்லாமல் நாங்கள் கொஞ்சம் எங்களை வேலையில் நிப்பாட்டி இருந்தோம். இப்போ அநேகமாக எங்களுக்கு இந்த பாகிஸ்தான் எம்பசியோடு எங்களுக்கு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி வேறு எனக்கு ஒரு ட்ரஸ்ட் ஒன்று பிலீஃப் ஒன்று இருக்குது. எங்களுக்கு இன்னும் ஒரு 5 எம்பசி முன்னால் வந்து எங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்கன்ட்டு.